Guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Wednesday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I have a word for you. Tap in. Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy hump day. So this is not for everyone, but this is for, I think, a specific persons. But I got this download, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Also, I'm going to tie in a good sis. This is a couple of times I've received this message about how was I able to turn down two proposals, right? Two and a half, twice from the same person. So two different people, twice from the same person. So I say two and a half. But I'm going to tie that in with this specific message. For some of you, or for one of you, the reason for your holdup, for your quote unquote your person, your kingdom spouse or kingdom partner or destiny helper, whatever you deem the term to be, wherever you are, you know what you're waiting on, you know what God has promised you, is your inability to see yourself correctly. So it's not that you're being punished and God is making you wait, or your blessing is tied up in spiritual warfare, if you will, right? It is the inability for you to see yourself the way God needs you to see yourself. And this is why you're experiencing in this season that God is working on you from the inside out, because you may be focusing on your external and trying to fix things externally, or the enemy may be targeting your confidence and your self-esteem, constantly telling you that you're not enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not thick enough, you're not light enough, you're not dark enough. Like he's pounding your head with everything, like from this physical realm. And let me just tell you, whoever for you is literally designed for you. So you don't have to try to create yourself or create this narrative about looking a certain way or having a certain thing. Nothing in the physical, because what's for you, you're going to attract that spiritually. And let me just tell you, there's nothing, absolutely nothing like a spiritual connection. Even chemistry, and chemistry is fire, right? But even chemistry can't touch a spiritual connection. The spirits collide. The spirits are drawn to each other. So it has nothing to do with the physical, but the enemy will literally use that to try to get you off course. So versus you working on the things that you're instructed to work on, or you're being convicted to work on, right? Internal things like closing that childhood wound of rejection because your parents weren't there, your parents were a crackhead, or somebody emailed me and told me they laugh every time I say that, right? I guess I sound like Judge Mathis, right? Your mama was a crackhead, right? But listen, like that's the era. A lot of you guys came from that era, right? I think the crack epidemic was like what, the 80s, I think, if I'm not getting that wrong. So all those childhood wounds, and I mean, we can go on for hours about the different wounds and how they may have occurred, right? Let it be through bullying, molestation, rejection, narcissist parents or narcissist siblings. But ultimately, whatever it came from, it damaged your self-esteem, right? Men and women. For some reason, men are popping up in my spirit now that I'm speaking about it. Men and women. I think a lot of times as women, and I know I'm guilty no longer, I know better now, but we were kind of always taught that men just naturally have this self-esteem and confidence, and like the only thing like they really worry about, or the only thing that really bothers them, is when their pockets are funny, I guess, like if they lose a job or they don't really have their money up where they would like. And if they're having some problems someplace else, right. But I'm learning more and more that that's not true. There are a lot of things that affect men the same way they affect us, Like, we think our little stuff is petty. Like, we gained 5 pounds, we gained 10 pounds, right? We did this and we did this. Like, we're critiquing ourselves in every little way, right? We're women. We do what we do, period. But either which way, that rejection has damaged you so bad, your confidence and your self-esteem, where it's keeping you from really shooting your shot. It's keeping you from stepping out on purpose. It's keeping you from seeing yourself and you're not feeling like you're good enough or that you don't have enough. So what you're doing is you're putting everything off, the internal work that you should be working on, closing those wounds, things like that. Or that one woman, this is popping up, I don't know who this is for, that one woman who hurt you the one time you decide to let your guards down and fall in love. Heck, it may be your own mama, right? But whoever that woman who really hurt you and damaged you, and you have vowed to yourself to never, ever, ever, ever allow somebody to get that close to you. Yet God is trying to give you, right, a certain type of woman. Not the woman you chose, you yourself chose, because she was fine, she was thick, right? So he's trying to send you somebody who's literally designed for your life. And you're asking for more, right? You're asking for that business. You're asking for increase in your ministry. You're asking for increase or whatever. But this is for man and woman. This is something that God has really been highlighting a lot, honestly. Many of us have truly reached the ceiling, the height of how far we can go before God brings in purpose partners, and that just doesn't look relationship-wise, in the sense of romantic relationships. But a lot of us feel like we're stuck, and we're only stuck because we're not doing the thing. Lord, I just got a conviction myself. Lord, I hear you. We're not doing the things, or we're not focusing as much as we should be on the areas that he's trying to work on us internally. Certain character flaws, certain vices, certain this, certain that. I got tested major this morning, and your girl passed. Your girl passed her test this morning, honey. Listen, you got to celebrate when you pass a test, like especially one that you're constantly failing. You got to celebrate. If nobody else celebrate you, pat yourself on the back, because passing these tests, because you're going to be tested in the areas that are most difficult for you. And for me, I've been always transparent, is patience. But I passed a patience test this morning, honey. So take your eyes off of the things that the enemy is highlighting, those physical things, let it be money or a certain this or certain that, anything physical, your looks, like, because it has nothing to do with that. That's all a distraction. It's a lie from the pits of hell, honey. You are enough. You already have everything in that sense. But again, that porn habit you got going on, right? That weed habit. And I know some of you feel like God made weed or whatever y'all say. Listen, that's between you and God. If you don't have conviction about weed, then maybe you're good. But if you're convicted because you smoke weed the minute you wake up to the time you fall asleep, and you're convicted about that thing, right? Anything you're convicted about, right? I always tell people, personally, if a person tries to convict me about something, like, oh, you showing too much leg, honey, you gonna see these legs until I get convicted about some legs. Because if legs turn you on, your flesh is weak, honey. If a kneecap, I'm going all the way left here, right? So the Holy Spirit will convict you about an area that God is trying to work on. And just because you're not convicted now doesn't mean you won't get convicted in the future. It just means that's not an area that's really important right now. Like, God will pound your head off with convictions with a certain area that he needs you to work on. So let it be that addiction of all sorts: porn, food, sweets, cigarettes, overindulging on alcohol or alcohol in general, sex, social media, and we can go on and on and on and on. This is why I get annoyed when you hear people like judging somebody with an addiction. Oh, you're addicted to crack. Not saying crack is whack. Yes, it is. But you're addicted to, you're come on. You can't turn the porn off. Like, stop judging each other, because we all have our vices. We literally all have our vices. So stop deflecting by focusing on somebody else's vice so you can concentrate on yours, because your deflection is keeping you from working on the very area that God needs you to work on. So you're still popping off. You're still popping off, right? But then you're fussing with God because God is making you wait, and God is punishing you because God won't send your purpose partner, even though he promised it to you. But you're still popping off at the Holy Spirit. How are you popping off at the Holy Spirit and think you're going to have control to not pop off when God sends a person? A person versus the Holy Spirit? Seriously? If you can't be obedient to the Holy Spirit, honey, nobody got a chance, because the conviction from the Holy Spirit, honey, will have you shut your mouth so quick. But I wanted to jump on really quickly and share that because it was so very profound in my spirit for me to drop this. So whatever you do, turn down the distractions. For some of you, again, I've had several, you told me, one of you guys commented this recently in the comment section, that the desire is gone and you feel like it's like you're over it. It's okay. And that's good, right? It's good, but that desire may return, right? Again, God may be trying to get your attention, so he turns off that desire, because when that desire is amplified, like it's hard to even think about something else. We're too focused on the promise. We're too focused on the thing. And then before you know it, you're actually idolizing that thing without realizing it. So sometimes God will turn that volume down on that desire to get you to really hear what the areas he's really trying to convict you on. I need you to work on this. I can't take you any higher. I can't send you this person. I can't get you past this ceiling because there are still some character issues, right? You don't have to be perfect, because none of us are, right? You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to really, 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 really work on the areas that he's highlighting. I'm far from perfect, right? But that one area that he's on me, he won't get up off of me, is the patience. And I'm doing so much better, right? It's just, I'm 15 years in. Like, I did not know what I was. I really thought, in my own ignorance just me not knowing, 15 years ago when I asked for patience, right? Because I was tired of being impatient. I just thought when I prayed for patience, he would literally just give me patience. I didn't know I would be tested every day, all day long for 15 years. Like, please don't ask God for anything, right? Unless you really know what you're asking for. Because or do ask, because I think there are certain things that we need, but just be prepared that you will be tested in that area until you master it. Doesn't mean you will be perfect in that area, but you got to have some really roots, some ground roots in that area. And I'm so much better now. I still have my days, don't get me wrong, but I'm so much better now. And that comes with the process of getting ahead of God, bumping your head one too many times, looking like a fool, or God just kind of just going silent on you and let you do what you do, and you realize you're getting absolutely nowhere and you're delaying your own process, all that stuff. So it's the whole process, honey. Listen. Listen. Sometimes I feel it's petty because, like, I consider myself to be a great driver, right? I will be behind a person, I promise you. The speed limit can be 55. And intentionally, I will end up, not intentionally, at least not from my part, I would end up behind a car that's doing 15. And do you know I'm convicted to stay behind? There's no other cars in any other lane, right? At all. At all. But then the conviction is so profound that I have to stay behind this car all the way. Oh my. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it now, because it happens. It happens so often where now I can do it. I might be annoyed, but I do it, right? So God will test you in petty ways that we think is petty, but it's actually equipping and teaching you. So when you get convicted about putting that buggy back and stop leaving those buggies in these people parking lots in the middle, just because other people can do it, you literally can't do it when God is really shaping and molding you. So pay attention to your convictions, because things that you may deem as petty it's a way that he's teaching you. So me having to drive behind slow folks is teaching me patience. So you see how it's still working on a certain character issue for myself. So let God do what he does. Stop focusing on your external and just follow your convictions. And you know what that thing is. Like, there, honestly, there's no question. If there's an area that he needs to work on, you can go around here and asking everybody all you want. And you give me confirmation. Is that confirmation? You know that area of struggle that he needs to work on, because he keeps highlighting it, and it won't leave you. It just won't leave you. So I wanted to share that. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.